as God, Hare Krishna. Okay.
Guru Brahma.
Yes. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna. Okay. So, today we start with Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. As you can see in the picture also, modes of material nature. Chapter 14, you can see three Devis holding strings and pulling the people, human beings, living entities. One is like pulling in this side, one pulling that side, and one pulling in the other side. So in the previous chapter, what did Lord Krishna say? He explained, right? What is the difference between the body and the soul in detail. So in this chapter, he is going to explain about the nature of the material nature, like you can see in the picture, which is the source, right, of body and its elements. So material nature, it constitutes of what? Three gunas, as you can see in the picture again. Sattva guna, Rajoguna, that is a mode of passion, and Tamoguna, mode of ignorance. So body, mind, intellect, these are all material in nature, right? They also possess three modes. And the combination of all these gunas, that is what forms one's character. One's character is not formed by just one guna. All three, which one is more higher in quantity, that's what becomes. Somebody is very, very angry. So you have to understand, he must be having mode of ignorance more. Tamoguna is more than Rajoguna and Sattva-guna. Someone is very calm and quiet. So that way we understand which guna is dominant. Let's start with Shloka 1. Gunishri Mataji, who's reading today? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajñatva Munayas Sarve Param Siddhimito Gataha.
The Blessed Lord said, again I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained to supreme perfection.
Is it like I only can't hear properly Pushpanjali's voice, or is it everyone?
It's not audible to me also. No.
Yeah, a little bit less audible. Pushpanjali, can you please check your mic? Maybe mic might be having a problem. Now in this chapter, what Krishna is trying to explain, what those modes of material nature are that we saw in the picture, right? How they act, how these modes of material nature, they act upon us, how they bind us, and how they give us freedom or liberation, how we can get out of it. So the knowledge is very important. If we apply this knowledge, we can get away from all this. And this knowledge is being declared by Lord Krishna in this. And this, Krishna says, it's very superior knowledge. So far, given in all the chapters, this is the most superior knowledge. That's what Lord Krishna says here. By understanding this knowledge, various saints, munis, rishis, they have all been transferred to spiritual world also. So it is expected, normally it is said, that if you can understand 14th chapter, you will attain perfection. That's what it is said. Idam jnanamupashritya mama sadharmyamagataha sarge pinopajayante pralayena vyathanti cha.
Anyone?
You can read, Mataji.
Okay,
I will. Okay.
Yes, please continue, Megha.
Okay. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature, which is like my own nature. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation, nor disturbed at the time of dissolution.
So Lord Krishna is assuring Arjuna. He says, those who get this knowledge, who is equipped with this knowledge, as no longer you have to go through that repeated confinement in your mother's womb. You don't have to keep going into that mother's womb all the time, every time, every cycle. So they will also not be obliged to stay in a suspended, animated form, right inside the womb also, or inside the womb of God at the time of universal dissolution, when universe completely dissolves. That time he need not stay there or be reborn in the next creation. He need not go through all this problem if he understands this knowledge. So these three gunas, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, this is what the cause of bondage is. This is the knowledge we need to get and understand properly. This lesson We need to understand well. And if we get this knowledge, we will get out of this problem of misery and bondage from this material existence. सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता.
It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father.
Very clearly, Krishna has said in this, very clearly, that I am the original father of all living entities. Very clearly he has said. So how are we made? How are we living entities made? It's a combination, right? It's a combination of material nature and the spiritual nature, both together. Like the earth, water, air, all this, plus you put in that body, put soul also, then a body is made, a living entity is made. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada also says, he explains that the whole material world, it is impregnated with the living entities. Everywhere you have living entities. How they come out in various forms, different forms. You never know. You might be an animal, you might be a tree, you might be a human being, you might be a deity, you might be anything. So you come out in various forms at the time of creation. How? It is according to our past karmas, whatever we have done in the past. According to that, you get that next life from at the time of creation. Then again, according to our karmas, whatever karmas we are doing, according to that, we will, the material nature gets to work. It gets the homework, what karma he has done, make him according to that. And according to that, he gets to work to create suitable life forms. If we have done very bad, maybe we'll go into animal kingdom. So he does not cast all the souls in the material world, right? Rather, those who are totally vimukh. Vimukh means they have turned their back towards God. So those kind of souls come down here. So let's see. Sattvam, now we are going to see mode of goodness. Sattvam rajastama iti guna prakriti sambhavaha nibadhnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam.
Material nature consists of the three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the living entity comes in contact with nature, he becomes conditioned by these modes.
So now we come to know about mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Now he has explained, right, how the life forms come into this whole existence, how the soul, how the material nature, they combine, they come and come together in this life form. Now, from now on, words till next maybe 14, 15 shlokas, Lord Krishna is going to explain to us how this nature, Prakriti, material nature is going to bind the soul. It pulls the soul and binds it. We will understand. Slowly you will understand. So soul is spiritual. Soul cannot be burnt. It cannot be cut. It cannot be, all that. So it is divine. But the moment it comes in contact with material nature, it comes under its control. We fall down. So material nature, material energy possesses three gunas. One is goodness, sattva guna, passion, rajoguna, and ignorance, tamoguna. I can give you a crude example. For example, that I am painting using three colors. I have three colors and I'm painting on a piece of paper. So if whatever, if any one of the color is released in excess more by me on the paper, then what picture you will get? You will get that color, right? It will get more of, for example, I'm using white, green, and red. If I put green more, the paper will have green color, more green color than red and white. Similarly, what happens? This Prakriti also has three gunas, right? So three ink, you can say. So based on our internal thought, our external circumstances, our past life, karmas, sanskars, or based on all that, one of the modes, one or the other mode, it will be dominant in us for that person. For that person, you might be sometimes thinking, why this person is always in angry mode? So it may be because of his past karma, maybe because of his samskaras, or maybe because of internal problem. So one or the other is always like dominant for that person. Someone is very calm and quiet. Someone always greedy only. So that mode predominates. It predominates and creates, that kind of shade upon the person's personality. That shade comes. You can come to know who's very greedy type, who is very angry type, who is very calm and quiet and serene and never shouts, that kind. So the soul, it is swayed by the influence of these dominating modes. Sometimes this side, sometimes like this, sometimes like this. It is swaying, but one or the other is quite dominant. So now Lord Krishna is going to describe what is the impact of these modes upon us. Let's see. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakamanayam sukha sangena badnati jnana sangena chanagha.
O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode develop knowledge, but they become conditioned by the concept of happiness.
They become conditioned. Prakashaka manamayam. Prakash means what? Illuminate. Anamayam means without any sinful reaction. So what the means that the mode of goodness, what happens? It is very serene. It is very calm. It is very illuminating. How does, once you are in sattva mode, goodness mode, how do you feel? You feel very calm. You are satisfied. You feel like giving charity also. You are charitable. You are compassionate. You are helpful, and everything is very calm. Everything around you, the whole atmosphere, the whole personality, you feel very good, right? So what happens if you feel very good inside? Your body, your health is also very good at that time. You're free from your sickness. You won't have, because you're in sattva guna, that calm mode. Anything, if you're calm, you will always feel good. So while the mode of goodness, it creates very much of serenity and much of happiness, but too much attachment to mode of goodness is equally bad. Why? There is a reason. It will bind. It is again a rope only. It is binding you only. So to the material nature, it is a golden cage. Mode of goodness is a golden cage, and mode of passion is like, you can call it silver, and the mode of tamoguna is totally iron cage kind of. We can say that. So let's see an example. Like if a traveler is going into a forest, or maybe I can take an example of, I am going to a shopping mall. Okay, I have a purse and I'm going and I'm carrying a little bit of cash. 3 robbers come and attack me. The first one says, kill her and let's steal all her money, all her purse, all her jewelry, whatever money she's having. The second one says, let's not kill her. Let's simply just tie her up and take whatever money we can and let's move away, right? And they go. And following the advice of the second robber, what they will do, they will tie me up in ropes and they will just steal whatever money and whatever everything is in my purse. After they have gone far away, little bit away, the third one comes running back and he says, you know what, I'm going to remove the ropes around you. I will take you till the gate. From there, quietly, I know you can find your way home. Just move away. Okay, I'm going to take you till there and then get out of this place. So accordingly, what do you feel? What was the first robber? In which mode was he? Tamoguna. Yes, mode of ignorance. He literally wanted to kill. So he's in a tamogun mode. And second robber, he was in
Passion.
Rajoguna mode, because he was like greedy, wants wealth, but he was better than the Tamoguna mode. The third robber was in
Mode of goodness.
Mode of goodness, Sattva-guna, because he not only did he remove my ropes, he was also showing me the way. Okay, from this side, you just go away, right? Before the other two see, you just go home. You will find your way home. So this is how it is. All three are attached only. All three pull you only. No one is like going up. All three are pulling, but okay, you can distinction is always there, right? Nobody is that way. Nobody can step up to transcendental platform. But mode of goodness is better than the other two. But there is fourth one, Shuddha Sattva Guna. Shuddha Sattva Guna is the transcendental mode. That is what we are looking for. It is the mode of divine energy of God. And when soul becomes God realized, that's when we get Shuddha Sattva Guna. It is, we have to have full control over mind that time. Did I move on?
Mataji.
Yes. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tannibadhnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam.
The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this one is bound to material fruitive activities.
So now Krishna is explaining to us the working of Rajoguna, how it binds the soul to material existence. What does it do? It fuels the lust for sensual enjoyment, sexual enjoyment. He wants only that. It inflames his mental and physical pleasures. He wants physical pleasures, he wants mental pleasures. That is mode of passion. It also promotes attachment to worldly things. So whichever person is in Rajoguna, what does he do? He is engrossed, completely engrossed in worldly pursuits. He wants car, he wants a house, he wants status, he wants prestige, he wants great career, great family, great friends, name, fame. He is into all that mode. He is looking for those kind of pleasures. He is motivated to take intense activity to get name and fame. Somehow or the other, he wants it. So what happens? It is increasing his desire, right? So that is mode of passion. It's also, it's trapping the soul in this worldly matters, worldly life. So how to break out of this? Engage in karma sannyasa yoga. That is, begin to offer the results to God. Do the karma and offer the activity to God. This will create detachment from the world. Slowly, slowly we'll come out of this Rajoguna. Let's see. Tamoguna. Tamastvajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabhi tannibadhnati bharata.
O son of Bharat, the mode of ignorance causes the delusion of all living entities. The rest, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, the rest, this mode is madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul.
So mode of ignorance is what? It's opposite of mode of goodness, straight away. Everything in mode of goodness means he's like a madman. He will not understand anything, right? You can see a person's grandfather has died. Everyone can see he has died, right? Everyone knows that that person has died. Everyone will understand that, okay, we know what it is. We are not going to stay here forever. We will die sooner or later. We are mortals. We will die. But he will not understand that. The children also we have will also die one day. Everyone is, death is sure. No one is immortal here. Still, what is happening? People are madly accumulating money. They are working day and night very hard at not caring about this eternal spirit soul. We have a spirit soul. Instead of thinking about the soul, we are running after God knows what. No idea. This is madness. We need food for the soul, not the body. Body is there. Okay, body is for survival. But what about the soul? Are we even thinking about it? No. In their madness, they are reluctant. They don't want to advance in spiritual path. They don't want to understand what spirituality is. Very, very lazy. They are very, very lazy. And if you even ask them, okay, come, you know what? There is some Bhagavad Gita class going on. They are not interested. They are not even active, right? They're totally inactive and they don't want to believe in anything. They don't want to do anything. They want to be just lazy and lie there, do nothing. They are completely controlled by the mode of passion. If anybody else wants to read, can read. Tamastvajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabhihi tannibadhnati bharata. Am I reading again?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajah karmani bharata Jnanama avritya tu tamaha pramade sanjayatyuta.
The mood of goodness conditions one to happiness, patience condition him to the fruits of action, and ignorance to madness.
Passion, the one who is in mode of goodness, what happens? He is satisfied. He is satisfied by his work. It's like a philosopher or a scientist or educators. They are always engaged in field of knowledge. They are satisfied. They are doing for the betterment of other people also. So they are in mode of goodness. They want welfare of the human society. Mode of passion, as I told you, he's engaged in fruitive activities. He owns so much, still wants more, but sometimes he will spend for good cause also. So he is in a mode of passion. Sometimes he may open a hospital, he may give some charity, some to some educational institute. So he is still in the mode of passion because he wants more, but he will give little bit. As I told you, mode of ignorance is completely opposite to mode of goodness. It is not at all having any knowledge. Whatever one does good for him, he is neither going to do good for anyone, for neither for himself nor for anybody else. He is totally out. He doesn't understand anything, right? He's thinking of only kind of happiness. I don't know what kind of happiness. That's also negative happiness. For example, everyone knows cigarette smoking is injurious to health, right? Every cigarette pack, every ad, you will see this line written on. But you ask cigarette smokers, they read this, right? Do they refrain from smoking? No. They still want to do the same thing. You know this is bad. You know you have the knowledge. You don't want to use it. That is mode of ignorance. The moment you don't have the intellect does not have the discriminatory power, that means you are injuring your own self. You know it is bad for you, right? So what is a cigarette? Somebody said cigarette is a pipe with a fire at one side and the fool at the other side. Cigarette, fire on one side and a fool on the other side. He is influenced by tamoguna. Rajastamashchabhibhuya sattvam bhavati bharata. Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva tamas sattvam rajastatha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sometimes the mode of passion becomes prominent, defeating the mode of goodness, O son of Bharata. And sometimes the mode of goodness defeats passion, and at other times the mode of ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy.
So he is now explaining individual's temperament, how it oscillates between the three gunas. It can be compared to three boxers or three wrestlers. They're competing with each other. Each one is trying to throw the other one down. So sometimes the first one is on the top, sometimes the second one is on the top, sometimes the third one is on the top. So each one trying to dominate the other. In the same manner, the three gunas also, they keep trying to gain dominance over the individual's temperament. It will sometimes oscillate this side, sometimes there is a big tug of war. So there is no rule as to which one will stay for how long. One guna may dominate the mind and intellect for, you can say, even a moment or as long as an hour. If you're angry, sometimes just they finish in 1 minute. Okay, I was angry, now I'm not. Sometimes they will sulk for 1 hour. They're angry, they don't want to talk. They're angry for 1 hour. So tamoguna stays for 1 hour. This time, whenever you're angry, laugh at yourself. Mode of ignorance right now, and laugh at yourself, right? So, okay, I can give you an example also. Like if we are all sitting here right now, you're all sitting in your rooms, various rooms, whichever rooms you have decided to sit, and we're studying Bhagavad Gita, right? So now there's no disturbance, worldly disturbance I'm talking about. We are not using our phone, we are not doing anything, we're not chatting with our friend. And our mind is totally sattvic. Now, after you finish this Bhagavad Gita study, maybe around 10:30, you'll say, okay, let me just watch TV for a while, or just go through Facebook or whatever. Or you switch on the TV and you're watching your favorite program. You're saying your mind goes into Rajasic. Some different program, you're watching news, you're watching whatever. Slowly it is increasing your sense pleasures. Immediately at that moment, as you're watching your favorite channel, your brother, your sister, your father, your mother, whoever, one family member comes and he changes the channel. So what happened? You are disturbed. I'm watching. What are you doing? Straight away, tamoguna. It is increasing in your mind. You're filled with anger. So in this way, the mind is swaying all the time, all the time. It's not one moment. Everything, anybody says something, you have to see. Sattva is coming up, Rajoguna is coming up, or Tamoguna is coming up. You can now, from today onwards, you can start seeing your own self. You will really laugh at yourself. I can see it. Please read this, 3 gunas.
Yes, Mataji. Okay. Sattva. The 3 gunas. Sattva. Balance, harmony, positive, peace, clarity, light, creativity, openness, and intelligence. Rajas. Movement, activity, energy, excitement, passion, desire, agitation, anxiety, and egotism. And tamas, you have inertia, inactivity, negative apathy, dullness, dark, delusion, depression, and ignorance.
These are the qualities you can imagine now. So you can, whenever you are having, you can imagine, you can see yourself, what is going on. See the tug of war going on. There is always a tug of war going on inside the moods keep on changing accordingly. Sometimes something is pulling, sometimes something is pulling. Every time something or the other is pulling. सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विवृद्धिं सत्त्वमित्युत.
The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge.
Gates. So all the gates of the body. So what are the gates of the body? Srila Prabhupada in his purport explains. There are 9 gates in the body. What are they? 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, the mouth, the genitals, and the anus. These are the 9 gates. So when every gate is illuminated by the symptoms of goodness, everything, so it should be understood that one has developed mode of goodness. How will you know whether you're in mode of goodness or not? When 9 gates are illuminated, you are in mode of goodness. So in the mode of goodness, with the eyes, you can see things in the right position. Ear, you can hear things in the right position. Taste things in the right position. You are becoming clean inside and outside. So in every gate, there is a development of happiness happening. So that is the position of goodness. That is how you come to know. Lobha pravrittirarambah karmanamashamaspruha rajasyetani jayante vivriddhe bharatashabha.
O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, uncontrollable desire, hankering, and intense endeavor develops.
So when you are in the mode of passion, so he's never satisfied. Whatever position he may get, he's still hankering to increase his position. Suppose he wants to construct a house. He doesn't want just a residential house. He will try to have a palatial house. He wants big mahal. He wants to reside as if he is going to reside in that house forever. Are we going to live here eternally? But he still wants a palatial house. Then he develops a great hankering for sense gratification. I want this one. I want that kind of sofa. I want this furniture. I want that furniture, that one. So he will keep competing. Other the neighbor has this one, I will have a better one. He always wants to remain with his family in this house. He continues to have this process of sense gratification. There is no stopping him. So all these symptoms, you come to understand that he is a characteristic of having Rajoguna or mode of passion. Aprakasho pravrittischa pramado moha evacha tamasyetani jayante vivriddhye kuru nandana.
O son of Kuru, when there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, madness, illusion, inertia, and darkness are manifested.
So, O son of Kuru, Arjuna, he's telling Arjuna, like opposite of mode of goodness, right? When there is no illumination in Sattva Guna, in mode of goodness, you have illumination. Here, knowledge is absent, illumination is absent, nothing is there. In mode of ignorance, he will not want to follow any rules and regulations. He doesn't want to follow any regulative principles. He just wants to act whimsically, his own thinking, his own imagination. He wants to do for no purpose. There is no purpose. You ask him, what do you want? I don't know. I just want to sleep. I don't want to talk. I want to just do like he just doesn't know. Even if he has the capacity to work, he just doesn't want to try. This is illusion, completely illusion. He has consciousness, right? He's conscious. His consciousness is growing on, but life is inactive. His life is inactive. He doesn't want to do anything. These are the symptoms of one who is in the mode of ignorance. This modes, it keeps on influencing our attitude towards God and the spiritual path. So this is very difficult, right? If you are in a mode of goodness, for example, and it becomes very dominant on your mind, we may start thinking, I have received so much grace from my Guru. I have received so much grace from my God, from the God. I will definitely try to progress further and try to do my sadhana. I may chant one more round from tomorrow. I've decided to do this. Since this, my life is so precious, right? I've got a human form this time. I should not waste it. That kind of thoughts you will get. When you are in mode of passion and it becomes prominent, you will start, I should definitely progress. There is no doubt about it. I will progress in my spiritual path, but what's the hurry? I can do it. Right now, I have so many responsibilities, right? I have to do so much. So there are so many other important things to do in life. Let me just finish that. Then I will. He is in the mode of passion. Now, mode of ignorance. When mode of ignorance dominates, what will you think? I'm not really sure if there is any God or not. Who has seen him? I don't know. So why waste time in sadhana? So this is the kind of thoughts, how the same person's thought have oscillated from that height to the depth of devotion. You never know how it happens, right? Now, Lord Krishna will start to explain the destination we can go to, where we can go if we are under these modes of nature, how to, and the need to make it our goal, to bypass that, to transit that, how to get away from it. He will explain now. Yada sattve pravritte tu pralayam yati dehabhrit tadottamavidam lokan amalan pratipadyate.
When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets.
As it's written over here, in mode of goodness, you attain higher planetary system. Like you can go to Brahmaloka, you can go to Janaloka, Maharloka. There are so many. You will nicely enjoy their godly happiness. Here it is written, right? Amalan pratipadyate. Amalan is very significant. It means free from the modes of passion and ignorance. You are free from that. There are impurities in this material world, right? But mode of goodness is the purest in these three of existence in the material world. There are different kinds of planets for different kinds of living entities. Those who die in mode of goodness, they will be elevated to the planets where great munis, rishis, and all great devotees reside. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tatha pralinastamasi mudhayonishu jayate.
When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when he dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes the birth in the animal kingdom.
Some people have the impression that when soul will reach the platform of human life, it will never go down again. Sorry, that's not right. According to this verse, what happens? What is it saying? If one develops the mode of ignorance after his death, what happens to him? He's degraded to the animal form of life. From there, he has to again struggle very hard to elevate himself. by evolutionary process he will have to do, come again to human form of life. It's not easy. So that is why, please, those who are serious about human life, please take the mode of goodness and good association. Devotees' good association will help us to transcend this mode, and we can become situated in Krishna consciousness. This should be the aim of our life. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that we will again attain human life. No guarantee. कर्मण सुकृतस्याहुः सात्विकं निर्मलं फलं रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम् अज्ञानं तमसः फलम्.
By acting in the mode of goodness, one becomes purified. Works done in the mode of passion results in distress, and actions performed in the mode of ignorance result in foolishness.
So if you are in sattva guna or mode of goodness, you are always having that purity, virtue, knowledge, selflessness, everything, whatever you are doing, whatever action you will do, it will have pure intention. And the results also will be very good, very uplifting, very satisfying. Every time you try and check if you're in mode of goodness, you will get good results. That's what happens. You're chanting very purely. I think who had expressed yesterday, good results will come to you. Those who are influenced by Rajoguna or the mode of passion, naturally they'll keep having agitation in their mind, because they're desiring, right? They're desiring something or the other. The sense gratification is going on. There are so many desires of their senses, and their mind is always desiring of something or the other. The intention behind their work may be like, they want to boast, show off. They want to brag about something, and always want to enjoy by having some kind of sense gratification for themselves and maybe their siblings and parents and all. They want for their family, basically. It leads to what? To enjoyment of sense pleasures. And the moment you're enjoying that, you're going away. You're going away from mode of goodness also. And it is fueling your sensual pleasures. That's not right, right? And if you are predominated by tamas guna, what will happen? You have no respect for scriptures, for Vedas, for Bhagavad Gita, for anything, for even code of conduct also, how to conduct yourself, how to behave with your parents, how to behave with elders. You have nothing. You don't respect anything. You will be committing all sinful deeds. Like you will see pleasure in killing animals. Some people try and throw stones on the dogs on the street. They try to kill them also. Killing animals for sense gratification. You are enjoying throwing stones and everything and trying to kill a poor animal on the road. What is this? It's tamoguna. And indulgence in animal killing is sometimes for the taste of the tongue. That's the process of foolishness and ignorance. There is a prayer also, like we keep reading every day, right? Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. It is like Krishna, you are the well-wisher of the cow, you are well-wisher of Brahmanas, you are the well-wisher of entire human society or the whole world. What is the present society going towards? Total mode of ignorance right now. Total mode of ignorance. There is mode of passion also. Very dangerous is this Kali Yuga. So we have to be very, very, very careful what we are doing. Let us go into Krishna consciousness, save ourselves and save humanity also from this greatest danger. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha evacha pramadamoho tamaso bhavato jnanam evacha.
From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, grief develops. And from the mode of ignorance, foolishness, madness, and illusion develop.
Now, Lord Krishna is going to tell us the result, how person is when he is in different gunas. We already know, we have got little knowledge right now. If you are mode of goodness or sattva guna, will give you wisdom. You will become little wiser, right? You will be able to discriminate what is right, what is wrong, right? You will not start thinking that I have to work for my sense gratification. You will be happy and content in whatever you have, little bit, right? You will be acting wisely. You know what is what. In Rajoguna, what happens? Again, it is inflaming your senses. It puts your mind also out of control. You become very, very ambitious. Becoming ambitious is not wrong, but becoming ambitious by pulling somebody down, all kinds of negative thoughts coming inside your mind, lots of desires, then you, what happens? You get trapped, you're running after money only. Your whole thing becomes one sided, and I have to earn money, and you run after worldly pleasures. Will not help the soul at all. Tamoguna, mode of ignorance. It is completely inertia, and it is completely madness. It is completely ignorance. Shrouded in ignorance, what does a person do? He will do wicked actions. He will take impious deeds, like I told you, killing animals and throwing stones, and he will bear the result. What kind of result? He will get that kind of result only. You're killing animal, you don't even know that next life you will become an animal only. So if the world is devoted to these kinds of mode of passion, mode of ignorance, how can there be peace and prosperity in the nation? That's the biggest question. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastaha madhye tishtanti rajasaha jaganya guna vrittistaha adho gachanti tamasaha.
Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planets, and those in the mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds.
It is symbolizing the aeroplane going up and an aeroplane going down. It is symbolizing that one will go up and one will go down in Tamoguna, right? So this is a result of the action in three modes of nature. Lord Krishna is explaining in a little bit more detail. We have already understood a lot. He is explaining a little more. He explains that the life a soul will take in the next birth. How do we know? It is linked to the gunas that predominates their personality. What is the guna that is predominating the personality? That kind of life form you will take in the next life also. Krishna is telling us in detail. So be careful, he's saying. So upon the completion of your journey, this life journey, in this present life, the souls will reach a kind of place that corresponds to the gunas. So if you are very, very tamasic, mode of ignorance, you will get into that mode. So this can be compared to, for example, you are a student, right? You are applying for college admissions. You have finished your schooling. You want to apply for college admissions. So what will you do? You will go keep applying, write application forms. You go to different colleges in the country. You want to go to the best one, right? But how do you get it? The students who are getting very good grades, who can qualify well, right? They have, with good qualifying criteria, they will go to the best colleges. Those who are having okay grades, they'll go to middle colleges, mid type, not 5-star colleges. They'll go to like 3-star. And the ones who are getting very poor grades, they can only get admitted to the worst colleges if possible. They won't get, because they didn't get good grades, right? So the lowest quality is what? Mode of ignorance. It is it is totally waste. It's totally foolishness. So what is the result of developing ignorance? It's very risky. Huh? It's the lowest in material nature. Beneath the human level, we have 8 lakhs species below us, right? 8 million, sorry, not 8 lakh, 8 million species below human life. You can become bird, you can become a beast, you can become a reptile, you can become maybe unmoving tree. That is what you will become in the mode of ignorance. So what is dominating, you have to be very, very careful about it, right? Depending on your karma. So there is an opportunity for mode of people who are in mode of passion and ignorance to rise above and elevate themselves to mode of goodness. System is very simple. Get into Krishna consciousness. But if you do not want to take advantage of this opportunity, you can be happy, certainly be in the lower modes of nature and continue to be in the lower mode. This is the universe. If you're doing something good, you will go up. You can go to Swargaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. Otherwise, you can go down also. So this is very important, that there is a higher plane, There is a middle planet and there is a lower planet. We have to decide what we want, and accordingly we have to continue. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram yadadrashtanupashyati gunebhyascha param veti madbhavam sodhigacchati.
When you see that there is nothing beyond this mode of nature in all the activities, and that the Supreme Lord is transcendental to all these modes, then you can know my spiritual nature.
He's telling the complex workings of these three gunas. It's very complex. Lord Krishna is not showing the simple solution for breaking this bond, the bonding, the tying up. He says everyone is under this grip of material nature, right? So, but Supreme Lord or Krishna, he is beyond all this. So if we can detach ourselves from the mode, all these three modes, and attach ourselves to the Lord, he says we can cross this difficult journey and we can go beyond these gunas and reach God realization. Just attachment and detachment to what is up to us. Attached to what, detached to what. We can attach to mode of ignorance, mode of passion, mode of goodness also, or we can detach from these three gunas and attach ourselves to God. It's up to us. So the moment we get this knowledge, right now that we are getting this knowledge together, right? We're all learning. So the moment we get this knowledge, slowly we can start loosening our relationship with worldly objects, worldly people, and then slowly increase and start strengthening our bond and our relation with Krishna or divine God. And through what? Simple bhakti. Gunanetanatityatriin dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkhaihi vimukto mritamashnute.
When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life.
How can one stay in that transcendental position, even in this body, while living in this body? Krishna, in full Krishna consciousness. It is explained in this verse, very clearly it is written. Like, for example, if I'm drinking water, okay, I'm having here water, but this water is dirty. So what will happen? I may end up getting a nausea, or I may get up ending having upset stomach also, right? So if we are influenced by these three modes, we are bound to experience such consequences by whatever mode you are bound to. If you're bound by tamoguna, naturally something bad will happen. Passion, again that kind of karma. Goodness, again that kind of karma. So we are influenced by these three modes of nature, their consequences. So which are what? The consequences: repeated birth, janma, mrityu, jara, dukkha. So janma, birth, disease, old age, death. These four are permanent problems that we have in this material world. It is there. So sattva guna is definitely, mode of goodness is better than mode of passion and mode of ignorance, rajo and tamoguna, right? But that's not enough as well. It is also a bondage. The mode of goodness can be equal to like a chain, gold chain. It is a chain. It is still a chain, but it's a gold chain. So we have to get away from that. So what is our goal? Our goal is to go beyond these three modes. So this is a prison house. We have to just break these shackles. You can see in the picture. We can break these shackles and we can get out of this material existence. In other words, what is trying to say? That devotional service in Krishna consciousness is how we can liberate ourselves from this material entanglement. Arjuna uvacha kailingay strin gunanitan atito bhavati prabho kimacharah katham chaitan strin gunanati vartate.
Arjuna inquired, "O my dear Lord, by what symptoms is one known who is transcendental to those modes? What is his behavior? And how does he transcend the modes of nature?"
Arjuna heard from Lord Krishna about transcendenting, right? Going beyond these three gunas. So now he has three questions in mind in relation to gunas. Here, lingais, kai lingais. Lingais means symptoms. So his first question is, what are the symptoms of those who have gone beyond these three gunas? How do they look like? What do they how are they? How do they behave? And then achara, conduct or behave. Achara. Kairlingai strin gunani tanatito bhavati prabho himachara katam chaitan strin gunanati vartate. So he's asking, achara, how do they behave? So Arjun's second question is, what manner do these people behave? And ativartate means transcend, means go beyond. So third question is, how do they go beyond these three gunas? He is having three questions in mind. Now Krishna is going to answer very nicely and systematically. Shri Bhagavano vacha prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava nadveshti sampravrittani nanivrittani kankshati udasina vadasino guneryo na vichalyate guna vartanta ityeva yovatishthati nengate samadukha sukha swastha tamaloshtaashma kanchanaha tulya priya priyo dhiraha tulya nindatma samstutihi mana pamanayos tulyaha tulyo mittari pakshayoho sarvarambha parityagi gunatītassa uchyate.
The blessed Lord said, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present, nor longs for them when they disappear, who is seated like one unconcerned, being situated beyond this material reaction of the mode of nature, who remains firm, knowing that the modes alone are active, who regards alike pleasure and pain, and looks on the clod, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is wise and holds praise and blame to be the same, who is unchanged in honor and dishonor, who treats friend and foe alike, who has abandoned all fruitive undertakings. Such a man is said to have transcendental mode of nature.
So Arjuna asked three questions, three different questions. Lord answers the questions, two here, over here. Symptoms, he says, Krishna says, who are transcendently situation on that higher level, they don't envy anyone. They are not hankering about anything. They don't complain much. They don't identify themselves like, oh, I'm happy, I'm sad. Nothing. There is no hankering, no identification either with the happiness of the body or the distress of the body. Nothing. So how do they conduct themselves? He says they want to do things for society. They are striving for human welfare. They do so because it is their nature to help others. They are helpful by nature. It is not somebody is forcing them. So they are in that guna. So at the same time, they know everything is in God's hand, right? That's why they simply do their duty to the best of their ability. And then they will leave everything in the hands of God. They are self-realized people. They understand there are dualities in the world, like there is happiness, there is sorrow. Duality means both, happiness, sorrow, right? Like that. But they are not affected. They remain unaffected by them. So what happens? This gives them like equal vision with which they see, like he said, a piece of clod or a stone or a piece of gold. You keep anything in front of him, favorable or unfavorable condition. You criticize him or you glorify him. Anything you do, it will be same for him. That's what he is explaining here. Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakta yogena sevate sagunan samati tyaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstances, at once transcends the mode of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman.
How does one transcend? Right? Through bhakti. What is bhakti? Bhakti yoga means the Lord is there, devotee is there, and there is an activity, exchange of love between these two. So nice, right? So you have two. You have devotee, you have Lord, and you have love in between. This is bhakti yoga. But if we are not situated in the same transcendental position with the Lord, we cannot serve the Lord. We have to love him, right? So if, for example, you want to become the right hand or the personal assistant or PM to personal secretary to the PM, Prime Minister. So you cannot just simply get that position, right? You need to acquire a qualification for that. You cannot just be appointed like that. So what is the qualification to get free from this material entanglement, material contamination, the pollution in our mind, and to be in the spiritual position, right? Be as good as gold, as good as Krishna in quality. Of course, we can never be in quantity, but in quality we can, right? So what is the message over here? It is that if we engage ourselves in seva, in Krishna consciousness, in the devotional service of Krishna, even these modes of material nature, which is very, very, very difficult to overcome, we can easily overcome that only with Krishna's help. ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्य व्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च.
And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness and which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal.
So Krishna here is saying, I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. Jnanis worship Brahman because Lord Krishna tells us, Brahman, which the Jnanis worship, is the light of personal form of God. Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan, right? So Brahman is the light from the personal form of God. Brahman is the beginning, number one step of transcendental realization. These are all three God only, but this is the first step of transcendental progress. Next is Paramatma. So Paramatma is what? The super soul in our heart. This is the middle or the second stage of transcendental realization. Our ultimate is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. That's the absolute truth, right? So an attainment of Brahman is the first stage of self-realization. If he wants, he can continue to stay in that Brahman, that first step, or if he wants, he can gradually rise to Paramatma realization and then ultimately to knowing what Krishna is. There is an example like 4 Kumaras, no? The Sanak Kumara, Sanatana, Sanak Kumara, Sanandana, and Sanat, right? Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat. I always keep changing the names here and there. So these 4 Kumaras, they were first situated in Brahman realization. Then slowly, gradually, they rose up on the platform of devotional service. So therefore, the process of devotional service, it is beginning with hearing. You are hearing right now. We do chanting. We are remembering, right? There are prescribed 9 methods of realizing devotional service. It should be practiced in association with other devotees. We should all do it together, right? Anyone remembers any devotional service?
Chanting, meditation, surrender.
Yes. Atmanivedan, Dasyam, Sakhyam, yes. Archanam, Vandanam. Yes, very nice. Devotional service is very simple. You should engage in the service of Krishna. You should eat prasadam offered to the Krishna. Smell the flowers offered to Krishna. See the places where Lord had his transcendental pastimes. Go and do different activities for Krishna. Observe fast on fasting days and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you follow such process, definitely 100% we can become detached from these material modes of material nature, and we can go closer to Krishna. Hare Krishna. वाञ्छाकल्पतरूपश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.